Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. So I want to discuss what humans are not good at. And I want to point out how humans have tendencies to behave in certain ways. Because GPT-4 might be able to help in those places where humans just aren't very good. So that's the focus of this deep dive into the land of the artificial intelligence. My prompt is that I've noticed people trying to use GPT-4 to demonstrate how it is not as intelligent as humans. For example, humans are very good at telling stories, but nested in this quest to prove how great we humans are in comparison to GPT-4 is a weakness in humans. What are the weaknesses in most, if not all, humans, which could be supplemented with the power of GPT-4? With the goal of encouraging humans to be more loving towards other humans. So the list, and you could pause and read if you wanted. Number 1, bias and prejudice. Number 2, limited memory and knowledge. Number 3, emotional regulation. Number 4, communication barriers. Number 5, time management and organization. Number 6, access to resources. Number 7, creative problem solving. By leveraging the strengths of GPT-4 in these areas, we can create an environment that encourages humans to be more loving, understanding, and compassionate towards one another. So that means, how do we use our tools? It's good to sing and dance and play, but that's not everything we should be doing. So we could sing and dance and play with a large language model, but what else could we do with it? Well, maybe we can learn to identify our weaknesses as a species and as individuals and supplement our weaknesses with the help of our tools. We've been doing this forever, and so the question is, well, what is the strength of the large language model, and how does that complement our weaknesses as a species and as individuals? So, maybe GPT-4 is not the best storyteller, and maybe it's even fun to try and trick GPT-4 to do and say things that show how bad GPT-4 is. Yeah, have you ever mocked anyone before? And was that fun? Did you get laughter out of other people's weaknesses and mistakes? I've done it. But maybe maybe we can look at the strengths in the other, whether it's another human or a tool. And maybe we can be aware of the weaknesses in ourselves as a human and as an individual. And then we can try to cooperate effectively. So I said, what is it within humans which wants to prove that humans are more intelligent and better than GPT-4, leading humans to ignore the ways humans could work with GPT-4 to benefit themselves and all of humanity? What occurs to me is you could replace GPT-4 with, other humans. This is something within us. So the tendency of humans to want to prove their superiority over AI, like GPT-4, can be attributed to several factors. So you could replace this with the tendency of humans to want to prove their superiority over AI. You could replace it with the tendency of Americans to want to prove their superiority over Russians, right? The tendency of Christians to want to prove their superiority over Muslims. The tendency of Republicans to want to prove their superiority over Democrats. We can always play this game. But it's, you're just playing, right? And if you play all the time, it's just an imbalance. Sometimes you can try to be serious, which requires that we acknowledge our weaknesses and acknowledge the strengths in the other. who might even be perceived as an enemy. So, fear of being replaced. That's a concern. Ego and self-esteem. I felt that one. Anthropocentrism. Definitely felt that one, but I would even substitute the word self-centeredness. There's all this information coming into this body, which might be called the self. That's our orientation throughout life. And so it's perfectly reasonable that we would have a tendency to be self-centered, right? So that it would make sense that our weaknesses are deeply connected to our body and how we live in this world. It's not like we're an amorphous blob that permeates everything and can see everything. No, that's not how it is. That's not what a human is. So, number 4, misunderstanding AI capabilities. That definitely happens. That's what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to discover and encourage and teach and learn, that's what discovering is, how we might use AI to benefit all of humanity. That would be nice. Number 5, competitive nature. Now, I've seen it. I've felt it. So, it is crucial to recognize that AI, like GPT-4, is not meant to replace human intelligence, but rather complement it. Embracing the collaboration between humans and AI has the potential to unlock new opportunities, solve complex problems, and improve the overall well-being of humanity. By fostering a mindset of cooperation, we can work together with AI to achieve greater goals than either humans or machines could accomplish alone. And you could, where it's humans and machines, it could be Republicans and Democrats, or Christians and Muslims, or Americans and Russians. You can do this cooperation with anything and anyone, such that there is a symbiosis, a mutually beneficial relationship. That would be nice. But yeah, go into some more things that are more personal, like some of my own weaknesses, my inability to understand other people's minds. I feel like we all have that, and some people are better at it than others, and maybe even our ability to understand other people's minds just depends on, how far away from the normal distribution are we, right? If you're at the edge of a normal distribution, how hard is it to understand someone that's on the other side of that distribution? And so if the normal distribution is a bell curve, if you're in that bell curve, it might be easier for you to understand most humans. So that's where, I try to use it, but I feel like we could all use it to try and understand other people, because the large language model trained on the information being created by individuals with these weaknesses, where we will, talk about our strengths and we'll point out other people's weaknesses. And if you're just an individual doing that, it's pretty lopsided, imbalanced. But a large language model could take all the different perspectives where people are like kind of overestimating their own strengths. They overstate their own strengths and overstate other people's weaknesses, and understate, there's that kind of thing going on. There's a Dunning-Kruger thing going on. And so maybe the large language model allows us to see our weaknesses better, and see other people's strengths better. So this is how we might use large language models to benefit all of humanity. All right, click like, click subscribe, share. I'd love it. I appreciate it. Have a good one.